let's talk about what advice for finding inspiration. So if you wanted to sort of like tell people how they could go about their own sort of inspirational journey or whatever, what kind of advice would you give to people?
Start with therapy, as I said. Definitely go to therapy. No, I do honestly believe that in order, the first starting place for me is that relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
So whether it's therapy, whether it's just kind of, reflexive, some people like journaling or whatever it is, really invest in getting to know who you are, what you want, what you need, what works for you, what doesn't, why. And then start addressing any things that need to, for me, sobriety changed my life, loads of things that came off the back of that and that I've figured out about myself.
Yeah.
That allowed me to then spot, I guess, inspiration and act upon it as well. I think there's a difference between like, I'll see people doing things that I really admire and I think that's absolutely amazing. Do I want to do that as well? Absolutely not. Like, do I want to like become, a professional athlete or something? No, I don't. However, I admire it.
Yeah.
And I can see, I think finding people who have got commonality in their journeys with you, that's a really fantastic source of inspiration that can stimulate action, I think, on the back of it. But the first place for me to start is that personal relationship with yourself.
For introspection first.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's when the external relationships come. This is why I've got one of my tattoos is a chair. Sherry Turkle that I mentioned earlier, she's an MIT professor. She's written loads of books on human connection and she focuses on the digital adoption and how the digital adoption has impacted our ability as humans to build empathy.
Yeah.
So she studies mostly like 16 to 18-year-olds and how they communicate through screens, which means that, if you're horrible to someone through a screen, you don't see the consequences of that.
Yes.
So you don't build the empathy that would come if I was horrible to you and I saw you visually get upset.
Right
then I feel bad. And it's the feeling bad that makes you not behave that way and build empathy. But because they don't see the consequences of it.
Right.
So she's got a number of books and one of them's called, we've got Reclaiming Conversation and the Empathy Diaries. And Reclaiming Conversation on the cover is this single chair. And it comes from a poet who talked about how in his house, he has 3 chairs. He has 3 chairs for the 3 represent community. So you've got you and 2 others. But before you can have 3 chairs, you need to have 2. Yeah. And that's for friendship. So that one-to-one relationship. But before you can have the 2 chairs, you need to start with the 1 chair. And it's that solitude. And because we spend so much time in our screens, we don't have time with our own thoughts as much. We're forever, even if you're in the car, you're listening to the radio, if you're in the house, you've got a screen on, the telly, we don't really have time with our own thoughts to process, to understand ourselves. So that's where the idea with the singular chair of solitude comes from, to spend time on your own, just to get to know yourself. Yeah. And that could be in therapy or it could be on a beach, it could be whatever it is. But that for me is where it all starts. And then everything good comes off the back of that.
Yeah, so it's like building that sort of base yourself first, and then that'll allow you to relate back. Because then not only will you understand yourself, you can apply, other people are going to be the same as me, so you can apply a lot of that to when you're engaging with other people as well.
Absolutely. You'll get triggered by things, and once you know who you are, you know why you get triggered by certain things, certain environments, situations, certain people. Once you know why, then you can control it, you can adapt to it, and you can address it. But until you know that, you're just going to continue to, either exclude yourself from things or,
exactly. Just not bother, not good.
I don't belong there, I'm not good enough for that, or whatever we tell ourselves. And there's a reason why we tell ourselves those things. You got to figure out the why first.
Yeah. If you stop, that's like, what's the point of going to something? It's just X and Y is going to happen. Yeah. But then when you actually do it, you always feel better. You always feel like, why did I think that way before I went? So it's like understanding those feelings, finding the words for them and kind of, try dealing with them, or if there's something you need to eliminate or change, you work on that, and that'll help you progress, and then you'll find everything else just that bit easier, or at least it's one less thing to worry about.
Absolutely. Oh, we've just solved everything. There you go. You're welcome, everybody. You're all set for life now. This therapy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, not only is it about inspiration, it's about just finding yourself, finding out yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Inspiring yourself.
Yeah.
Doing the things that, if you see someone else that's inspirational, this is one of the reasons why I started a PhD in the first place, or started a business. I saw other people doing it, and I was like, what is it about what they're doing that I think is inspirational? And then you go, right, can I do that? Do I want to do that? Is that something that I could and want to do? And if the answer is yeah, then do it.
Exactly.
And then it incites that action.
I think when you find out about more of those things, you realize that's something I can do too.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's like giving up alcohol or making any kind of change, it's like you realize when someone else has done that thing that I could do that too, then that's something you can do. And then if there's anything else, you can maybe overcome those as well.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
No, my pleasure.
Great. So that was a fantastic episode. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Jenny.
for having me. I really enjoyed it.
So yeah, thanks for watching Talking Inspiration. You can subscribe and like any episodes. And thanks again. This was Talking Inspiration.